The streets are buzzing, social media is erupting, and the hip-hop world has officially hit a boiling point. Big Meech. Yes. The legendary figure whose name alone commands respect has officially erupted, after a shocking fallout with none other than 50 Cent. And if you thought that was the end of it, think again, because Rick Ross is right in the middle of this storm, and the drama is spilling into every corner of the internet. Fans are losing their minds, debates are raging, and the leaks. Oh, the leaks are nothing short of explosive. Imagine this. Private messages supposedly between Big Meech and 50 Cent, leaked to the public, hinting at betrayal, miscommunication, and raw emotion that no one expected. Social media exploded within minutes. Memes, fiery tweets, and reaction videos began flooding feeds, as fans tried to dissect every word, every inflection, every hidden meaning. People are asking what actually went down between Big Meech and 50 Cent. And how does Rick Ross fit into this explosive saga? And just when you thought the tension couldn't get any higher, insiders claim that secret conversations and recordings have surfaced, revealing a side of the story no one was supposed to see. Alliances, rivalries, and shocking confessions are coming to light. And the fallout is only beginning. If you want the full story behind Big Meech's fury, the heated confrontation with 50 Cent, and the Rick Ross twist that has left the hip-hop world in shock, stick with this video. Every leaked detail, every fiery reaction, and every jaw-dropping moment will be revealed, step by step. Brace yourself. This is not just gossip. This is a hip-hop saga of betrayal, power, and fury like you've never seen before. The night started like any other in the world of hip-hop. Neon lights flickering over Harlem streets, cars rumbling, and the distant hum of a city that never sleeps. But somewhere behind closed doors, a storm was quietly brewing, one that would shatter alliances, ignite feuds, and send social media into a frenzy that no one could have predicted. Big Meech, the name synonymous with power, respect, and influence, had apparently reached his breaking point. A feud with 50 Cent? Yes. The legendary mogul whose words carry weight across the globe had escalated, beyond whispers and speculation, into a full-blown, earth-shaking drama. It all began with what insiders are calling the fallout. Leaked messages, supposedly from private channels, revealed a conversation between Big Meech and 50 Cent that had been intended to stay behind closed doors. The messages hinted at betrayal, crossed lines, and emotions raw enough to ignite a firestorm. Within minutes of the leaks hitting the internet, fans were dissecting every word, analyzing tones, pauses, and hidden meanings. Tweets blew up like wildfire. Memes were created faster than anyone could track, and reactions poured in from corners of the world that had nothing to do with the original drama. The feud had officially gone global, but the story didn't stop there. Rick Ross, an unexpected player in this conflict, found himself dragged into the chaos. Sources claim he had been mentioned in those leaked exchanges, entangled in alliances and accusations that threatened to shift the entire narrative. Suddenly, what began as a private conflict between two hip-hop giants transformed into a multi-layered scandal, the kind of explosive story that fuels decades of gossip. Fans debated endlessly. Was Rick Ross a mediator, a pawn, or a conspirator? Every theory was dissected, shared, and twisted in real time across social media. Meanwhile, Big Meech was said to be preparing a public response that no one saw coming. Observers reported him pacing in private locations, phone in hand, eyes scanning trending hashtags and online reactions. The magnitude of what had leaked, the betrayal, the insinuations, the public attention was clearly not lost on him. Sources describe him as furious, strategic, and calculating. He knew that the wrong move could spiral the story further out of control, but he also recognized that a single statement or clip could reclaim the narrative entirely. The tension was palpable, and insiders claimed that his team was readying something explosive, something that would shock not just 50 Cent, but the entire hip-hop world as the hours passed. The leaked messages and alleged recordings continued to surface. A private phone call, supposedly between Big Meech and another influential figure, was rumored to have been intercepted and shared online. The clip, short but loaded with emotion, was dissected endlessly by fans. Every sigh, every pause, every word was scrutinized. Reactions were instantaneous. Twitter wars erupted. Instagram stories flared with speculation, and YouTube comment sections became battlegrounds for opinionated fans. Each new leak seemed to escalate the drama even further, creating a snowball effect of tension, suspicion, and speculation. And then came the first explosive confrontation. Reports claim that Big Meech and 50 Cent, after weeks of back-and-forth tension, finally spoke in a private but highly charged meeting. Sources say the conversation was intense, filled with accusations, moments of silence, loaded with threat, and bursts of fury. Eyewitnesses who spoke under the condition of anonymity described Big Meech as laser-focused and unrelenting, delivering words that left 50 Cent visibly taken aback. For fans, this was the climax of months of whispered rumors and online speculation, and it had only just begun. Social media reacted instantly. Clips allegedly capturing snippets of the confrontation were shared. Memes exploded, and every influencer worth their salt jumped in to dissect every movement and facial expression. Reactions varied wildly. Some sided with Big Meech, applauding his boldness and strategy. Others defended 50 Cent, arguing he had been unfairly maligned. And in the middle of it all, Rick Ross's name floated like a shadow over the conversation, drawing attention, questions, and wild speculation. Who was truly behind the tension? Who had provoked whom? The answers were murky, but the frenzy was crystal clear. Insiders also claimed that the fallout wasn't just emotional, it was financial and strategic. Deals, collaborations, and alliances that had been carefully orchestrated in the background were allegedly jeopardized by the leaked messages. Music releases, partnerships, and even label negotiations reportedly hung in the balance. Fans theorized endlessly. Was this feud merely personal? Or was there a deeper power struggle unfolding, one that threatened to reshape the industry itself? The internet went into overdrive, amplifying every rumor, amplifying every twist, and pushing the story further into hysteria. And just when it seemed like the story could not escalate further, yet another layer emerged. Alleged insider leaks suggested that Big Meech had recorded his own version of events. A secret audio message meant to set the record straight but never intended for public release. The message, if authentic, promised revelations about who had started the conflict, hidden grievances, and shocking accusations that would redefine public perception. Fans speculated endlessly about the potential content of this secret recording. Would it vindicate Big Meech? Would it expose 50 Cent? And where did Rick Ross fit into this explosive triangle? By the end of the first act, the stage was set. The feud had moved from whispers to viral chaos. Big Meech's anger and strategy, 50 Cent's reactions, and Rick Ross' shadowy involvement combined into a story of betrayal, loyalty, and explosive confrontation. Every social media platform was alive with conversation, analysis, and speculation. Every news outlet was scrambling to keep up with the latest leaks. And somewhere behind the frenzy, Big Meech was preparing his next move, one that insiders claim would shock the hip-hop world and possibly change the narrative forever, just as fans thought they had seen it all. The internet began buzzing with hints of yet another twist. Cryptic posts, subtle comments, and veiled threats suggested that the fallout was far from over. The next chapter promised leaked recordings, unexpected alliances, and possibly public confrontations that would escalate the drama to unimaginable heights. One thing was clear: this story was not ending anytime soon. The world of hip-hop had never witnessed tension, betrayal, and drama quite like this, and the saga of Big Meech, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross was only just beginning to explode. The morning after the initial fallout, the streets were still vibrating with the echoes of last night's chaos. Social media feeds were flooded with clips, screenshots, and alleged insider messages that fans claimed proved every theory they could think of. But the story was far from over. Sources close to the situation revealed that Big Meech was not only furious, he was calculating. His team had been quietly working behind the scenes, analyzing every move 50 Cent had made, every post he'd shared, and every subtle jab that had been thrown publicly. And according to insiders, Big Meech's next step was about to change the game entirely. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, never one to stay silent, had begun rallying his own supporters. Posts on Instagram and Twitter hinted at his side of the story. Though cryptically, was he acknowledging wrongdoing, denying it, or simply fueling the fire? Fans couldn't tell, and that uncertainty only made the situation more explosive. Every fan theory, every rumor, every whisper online was feeding into a snowball effect of drama. And as the day wore on, Rick Ross's involvement became clearer. He wasn't just a bystander. Sources claimed he had been in multiple secret meetings, attempting to mediate, yet also strategically positioning himself in ways that made him part of the conflict itself. The leaked messages from last night had hinted at betrayals that no one had anticipated. Allegedly, alliances had shifted, deals had been questioned, and even some longtime confidants were reportedly reconsidering their loyalties. Every new leak was like adding gasoline to a fire that was already out of control. Memes surfaced mocking the tension. Reaction videos went viral, and hashtags exploded in trending sections across Twitter and Instagram. The public was obsessed, dissecting every tiny movement, every carefully chosen word, every subtle facial expression from both Big Meech and 50 Cent. Then came the first major escalation. A video snippet allegedly captured a heated exchange between Big Meech and Rick Ross. The clip, just under 40 seconds, was filled with tension. BigMeech.com, yet seething, allegedly confronted Rick Ross about perceived missteps in handling the situation. While Ross, visibly defensive, tried to explain his position, Fans dissected the body language, Meech's controlled rage versus Ross. Awkward attempts at diplomacy and debates raged across the internet. Was Ross siding with 50 Cent? Or was he trying to mediate without taking a side? Every comment section turned into a battleground, and the narrative grew more tangled by the minute. Sources also claimed that Big Meech had scheduled an exclusive interview, one that insiders say would finally reveal his side of the story in full. Leaks suggested the interview would include shocking confessions, explosive accusations, and possibly recordings that could completely flip public opinion. Fans and critics alike speculated. Would this be the ultimate vindication for Meech? Or could it backfire spectacularly, giving 50 Cent even more ammunition? The anticipation alone was enough to set the internet ablaze. As the day progressed, more alleged insider information began to surface. Fans shared screenshots of supposed private chats between 50 Cent and his team, hinting at frustration, fear, and strategies to regain control of the narrative. One particular message, if authentic, suggested that 50 Cent might publicly confront Big Meech, turning what had been behind-the-scenes tension into a highly visible spectacle. The idea of a public showdown between two hip-hop powerhouses sent fans into overdrive, generating hundreds of thousands of comments, reactions, and speculation threads. Meanwhile, Big Meech's social media accounts remained eerily quiet, adding a layer of tension that fueled more speculation. Was he planning his next move in secret? Was there a recorded message about to drop? Fans created countdowns, speculated endlessly, and shared every possible detail about his rumored strategies. The digital world had become a theater of suspense, a global audience waiting for the next explosive scene in this hip-hop saga. The tension escalated further when leaked audio allegedly surfaced, capturing 50 Cent reacting to one of Big Meech's private statements. The audio, only a minute long, was dissected frame by frame. His tone, inflection, and choice of words were analyzed as fans debated whether he was angry, strategic, or on the verge of an emotional breakdown. The combination of leaked messages, audio, and social media commentary created a wildfire effect. Every fan, influencer, and journalist seemed to have their own angle, and the story snowballed faster than anyone could contain it. Just as fans thought they had seen the peak of tension, a new twist appeared. Rumors began circulating that a third party, someone previously thought uninvolved, had recorded a secret interaction between Big Meech and 50 Cent. The snippet, allegedly just 30 seconds, was said to contain a shocking admission, a confession that could change the perception of who had provoked whom. Social media exploded once again, with thousands of fans speculating about what was revealed, and every reaction seemed more intense than the last. The situation reached fever pitch when a fiery confrontation reportedly occurred between Big Meech and a longtime associate of 50 Cent. Witnesses described it as volatile and explosive, with shouting accusations and moments that had everyone present holding their breath. While no footage had officially leaked, insiders claimed that snippets and descriptions were enough to keep the public obsessing over every detail. Fans began to anticipate a full-blown public confrontation, one that could escalate the feud to a level that would dominate headlines for weeks. By the end of the day, the saga had transformed into a multi-layered spectacle of betrayal, strategy, and emotional chaos. Big Meech, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross were no longer just individuals in conflict. They had become central figures in a public drama that seemed unstoppable. Every leak, every post, every subtle move was scrutinized, discussed, and dissected in real time. And as the night approached, insiders claimed that Big Meech's next move, an official statement or recorded reveal, would push the tension beyond anything the hip-hop world had ever witnessed. The stakes were higher than ever. Fans were not just observers. They were participants, adding fuel to a fire that threatened to consume everything in its path. Every new leak, every viral clip, and every fiery tweet made it clear that this was not just a feud. It was a full-blown spectacle, a story of power, betrayal, and fury that would be remembered for years to come. And as whispers of the upcoming reveal circulated, one thing was certain: the next chapter would not just shock fans, it would redefine the narrative entirely. As night fell, the tension that had been simmering for days reached a boiling point. The streets, social feeds, and fan forums were alive with speculation, and the world was waiting for the inevitable showdown. Rumors suggested that Big Meech had finally decided to go public with the exclusive footage that insiders claimed would shake the hip-hop world to its core. The leaked snippet alone had caused ripples, but fans were buzzing about the full reveal, a recording that allegedly exposed hidden betrayals, secret alliances, and strategic manipulations that no one had anticipated. Every anticipation post, every viral clip, every comment section had become a stage for this unfolding drama. Inside his private studio, Big Meech reportedly prepared his statement meticulously. Sources claimed that every word was carefully chosen to convey dominance, clarity, and vengeance. The leaked messages leading up to this reveal hinted that 50 Cent and his associates were unaware of the magnitude of what was about to drop. It wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a declaration. A calculated strike designed to seize narrative control and expose truths that had remained hidden for too long. Fans speculated endlessly. Would this finally vindicate Big Meech, or could it backfire and give 50 Cent a chance to retaliate? Moments later, the reveal went live. Within minutes, social media erupted. Screenshots of the statement, clips from the recording, and fan reactions spread like wildfire. The footage reportedly showed Rick Ross mediating while secretly feeding information to 50 Cent. Alliances shifting in ways nobody expected. Big Meech's voice carried authority, anger, and an undeniable presence that fans described as electrifying. Each sentence seemed to land like a bomb, shattering perceptions and igniting debates across every platform. The fallout was immediate. Fans flooded comment sections dissecting every frame, every intonation, every subtle facial expression. Theories multiplied at lightning speed. Some argued that Big Meech had outmaneuvered 50 Cent completely, while others suggested the chaos was far from over. Memes, reaction videos, and conspiracy threads exploded across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. The internet had become a theater with every user a participant in the drama, analyzing motives, interpreting reactions, and speculating about the next move. Meanwhile, 50 Cent reportedly attempted to respond, but insiders claimed he was caught off guard. The statement had not only revealed strategic maneuvers, but had also exposed emotional vulnerabilities. Allegedly, Big Meech had included subtle jabs that hinted at 50 Cent's own insecurities, turning what was initially a public feud into a psychological chess match. Fans noted every eye roll, every smirk, and every carefully measured pause in the leaked footage, analyzing what it meant for the power dynamics between the two moguls. Rick Ross, now firmly in the spotlight, faced intense scrutiny. Insider leaks suggested he had tried to mediate behind the scenes, but had inadvertently become entangled in the conflict, leading to missteps that made him a target of criticism from all sides. Fans debated whether Ross had been a peacemaker or a secret instigator, and the speculation fueled even more heated online arguments. Every post, every story, every tweet became a battleground, a microcosm of the tension that had enveloped the hip-hop world as the hours passed. More leaks allegedly surfaced: text messages, private calls, and emails that fans claimed revealed the true story behind the feud. Every new revelation added another layer of complexity. Allegedly, alliances that had seemed unbreakable were suddenly questioned. Confidants were accused of betrayal, and strategic plans were unveiled in ways that left fans in disbelief. The narrative had evolved from a simple conflict into a sprawling saga of strategy, deception, and emotional intensity. Then came the tipping point. A snippet allegedly captured Big Meech confronting 50 Cent in person. Sources claimed it was tense, raw, and unfiltered, a moment that fans described as the climax of a lifetime. Meech.com, yet imposing, reportedly laid out every grievance, every perceived slight, and every hidden betrayal. 50 Cent's response, caught in audio clips leaked online, was said to be equal parts defensive and incredulous. The interactions sparked debates that ranged from analytical dissections of power moves to emotionally charged arguments over loyalty, respect, and influence. Fans dissected every pause, every word choice, every gesture, and the clip went viral almost instantly. The social media frenzy intensified. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Instagram lives were dominated by fan commentary, and Twitter threads exploded with thousands of perspectives. Memes emerged depicting every moment, while fans debated who had won the confrontation. The narrative had become more than a feud. It had evolved into a cultural event, a story that transcended celebrity gossip and captured the collective imagination. Every new share, every new discussion, added fuel to a fire that seemed impossible to extinguish, despite the chaos. Big Meech reportedly maintained strategic control. Sources suggested he had anticipated every response from 50 Cent and Rick Ross, using the leaks, the social media storm, and the viral clips to position himself as the dominant force in the feud. Every detail, from tone to timing, had been meticulously planned. Fans noted that even in moments of intense emotion, Meech appeared composed, calculating, and fully aware of the power of perception. As the night deepened, the saga began to stabilize, but the impact lingered. Fans continued to dissect the footage, analyze the leaks, and speculate about what would happen next. The feud, while temporarily settled in public perception, had forever altered the dynamics between Big Meech, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross. Allegedly, the revelations had created long-lasting shifts in alliances, power, and influence. With fans eagerly watching to see how each figure would navigate the aftermath. By dawn, the city, the feeds, and the fanbase were still buzzing. Analysts, commentators, and influencers weighed in with breakdowns, theories, and predictions. Every new reaction seemed to confirm that this was not just a temporary drama. It was a defining moment in hip-hop history. Fans reflected on the twists, the betrayals, and the climactic confrontation, acknowledging that the saga had been both shocking and instructive. Every frame, every clip, every leak had contributed to a narrative that would be remembered for years to come. And somewhere, quietly, Big Meech reportedly observed the impact of his strategic moves. Insiders claimed he understood that the feud had been about more than ego. It had been a demonstration of influence, control, and mastery of public perception. While the drama had erupted, escalated, and finally reached its peak, Meech had emerged not only unscathed, but in command, turning chaos into narrative authority as fans revisited every clip, every leak, and every reaction. One thing was clear: the feud between Big Meech, 50 Cent, and Rick Ross had transcended ordinary celebrity drama. It had become a full-blown spectacle, a saga of strategy, emotion, and influence that would define discussions, memes, and commentary for months. And while the story had reached a climax, the echoes of its revelations would continue to ripple across the culture, leaving a permanent mark on hip-hop history. The night ended, but the legend was just beginning. Every fan, every commentator, every observer knew that this was a moment they would never forget. A story of rivalry, power, and explosive revelations that had changed the game forever.